Hey guys, how are you guys doing? So I don't know who needs to hear this, but as I was on my way back from an outing, I was hearing something from the Lord. I was actually on this bus and literally I was hearing like, why do I have to wait? Okay, and then I got the answer like later on, like as I was sharing, I was talking to God and he told me something. So many of you guys, you are wondering why when it comes to you, it's like everything in your life, it's like you always have to wait for it. When it comes to like any type of prophecy or any type of promise that God has for you, it just seems like everybody else gets what it is they want so fast. It seems like everybody just, if they want something, it's like they get it and it's like they don't have to work hard for it. But when it comes to you, it's like you got to work extra hard and it feels like you always have to wait for what it is that God has for you, and you're wondering why is that. So I'm going to explain to you what God explained to me. I'm going to give you a bunch of reasonings. Okay, one, not everybody is obedient. Not everybody is obedient, and sometimes God will tell people, hey, I want you to wait. That's not the person that I want you to marry. And some people, based on their own desires and what it is they want, they'll end up jumping into that relationship, and that relationship is not what God intended it to be, right? Hence why a lot of times we see people getting married quickly, and the faster they get married, you notice that they end up getting divorced as well, right? And yeah, so one of the reasons is people are just not obedient. Okay, and not everyone is going to listen to God. Not everyone also receives their prophecies, as in like they're walking with God for them to receive their prophecies in the first place. A lot of people today, they're not receiving answers from God. They're just making their own decisions and making their own, going by their own rules, going by the beat of their own drum, right? But because your walk of life is different than a lot of people, you have to get a yes and no from God. And God has expectations from you because God knows you have a relationship with him. God knows that you are walking with him, compared to a lot of other people who don't have the same, who can't meet the same expectations because they're not walking the same path as you. Do you get what I'm saying? So in other words, if God is giving you a prophecy and God is not giving that other person a prophecy because they're not seeking him to receive that prophecy, they're going to jump into relationships a lot faster than you. They're going to go into certain careers a lot faster than you. They're going to make decisions a lot faster than you because they're making decisions based on what they want. They're not going through God to make decisions, okay? You are. And a lot of times when you go through God to make decisions, God has a specific path aligned for you, which means that the decision that you want to make is not the decisions you're supposed to make, which means there may be a little bit more time that has to happen. There may be a little bit more of a longer wait because God is trying to prevent certain things from happening, because now you know who the person is you're supposed to marry, because you know what type of career God wants you to be in, because you know what type of whatever God needs you to do, okay? Another reasoning as well God was saying is that, like I said before, you're walking with him and others may not be walking with him, but God also wants you to know that you cannot compare yourself to other people. Okay, you have to understand that what God has for you is for you, and not everyone's time frame is the same. And not only that, but there's a lot of people, it may look like it's happening fast for them. It may look like they're not going through the same obstacles as you, but trust me, some of them are going through, if not the same obstacles, maybe worse obstacles, or maybe just obstacles not as bad. But everyone's path is different. Everyone's testimony is also going to be different. Okay, so God does not want you to compare your life to anybody else's life. Okay, but I will say this. When I was talking to God about this literally just now, he showed me a vision of a cheetah. Okay, and we know cheetahs run very fast. And I know God did tell me like a few weeks back about us moving at a very fast speed, that a lot of us that have been waiting for things, we are about to move into a season where it's going to go so fast. And here's what he actually confirmed to me. You're going to be moving so fast at a fast speed to the point where you're not used to moving at a speed like that. It's going to feel uncomfortable to you because you literally you may have sat and waited for something for so long. Yes, you may have put in works in whatever it is you're waiting for, because faith without works is dead. You have to be working towards something too. But overall, you've been waiting for that prophecy to come to pass, and you're like, man, God, I've been waiting. Everybody else's prophecies happening. And I already explained about that, like why God says not to compare your life and stuff like that. But however, right now, this new season that's happening, a lot of us are going to go at a fast speed, and it's going to be uncomfortable because we're so used to just waiting. We're so used to, okay, years going by, months going by, weeks going by, and we're not really seeing anything leading us to our prophecy. It's more we keep getting the confirmation it's going to happen, but we're not seeing anything changing. And then all of a sudden, boom, God works on his own timing, right? So all of a sudden, boom, everything just starts changing, moving at a fast speed. And then when one door opens, a bunch of other doors are opening. So it's kind of like that one door that opens, a bunch of other doors start opening right after. And he said you're gonna feel so uncomfortable because of how fast you're gonna be moving, and God's gonna be like, you know what, this is why I told you had to wait, because I knew the speed that you're gonna be going by is gonna make you uncomfortable, and I wanted you to also be prepared. So I had to put you through a little bit of the obstacles and the turmoils to turn you into the soldier I need you to be, but I also had to prepare you because the speed you're gonna be moving at is so fast, it's gonna make you so uncomfortable. I don't want you to give up. Okay, and the obstacles that are going to come in is going to be so hectic. I don't want you to give up. I want you to be comfortable. Have you ever waited for something for so long and God finally gives it to you and you're afraid to accept it? It's like a blessing that you've been waiting for so long. God finally gives you the blessings and you're having a hard time accepting the blessing. However, you still accept it. You know why? Because deep down in your heart, you know you deserve it, right? But sometimes some people, they will self-sabotage because they're afraid to accept something. And that's why God has been convicting a lot of us relating to like the relationships with our kingdom partners, because he's trying to teach us like, hey, you know, the thoughts that you're having, the doubts that you're having, the things that you're thinking to yourself, or that you're allowing the devil to get to you, that is self-sabotage alone. And this is what you've been waiting for a very long time. You've been telling me, hey, you've been waiting for this for so long, I'm finally giving it to you, now you're self-sabotaging. Look at that, right? So sometimes the wait is to teach us. Sometimes the wait is to help us grow and help us catch what it is that we are doing that God does not want us to do when we receive the specific blessing. There's a lot of things that we have to wait on in the process of, we have to work on in the process of waiting, okay? So I just want to let you guys know that, and it's not just for like relationships, it's in general. Like he's saying the career, the relationship, whatever you've been waiting for, be patient with him and don't get weary, okay? There's a reason why he has you wait, and don't compare yourself to other people. Yes, like I said, it seems like no one's going through what you're going through. It seems like, how come someone else can, you know, receive their blessed financial blessing or receive, you know, that legacy, and they don't have to go through the warfares that I'm going to. But remember something, that person that's receiving that blessing, their parents may have already beat a generational curse, and your parents may have not. So now you're fighting that generational curse, which means your obstacles are not going to be the same as that person's obstacles, right? So remember that as well. Remember that as well. And remember, some people, because their path is different, you're walking on a path of obedience, and you're going to God with every single thing before you make a decision. You're going to God with this decision, okay? And he is telling you yes, or he is telling you no. Not everyone is doing that. So it may seem like everyone is getting what they want, but some people, they're getting what they want because that is what they want to do. They're not going based on the will that God has fulfilled for them because they're not walking the same path as you, okay? So I hope that makes sense, but this is a confirmation for some of you guys who've been asking God, why is it you gotta wait and it seems like everybody else is getting what they need faster, but when it comes to you, you've been waiting your whole life for things, and this is why. Okay, this is why, but also there's a lot of learning that has to happen. And guess what? Thank you. God said the longer you wait, the better the outcome. Some people don't even realize that them making their own decisions and choosing to run after something so quickly without getting any type of validation from God, that can also be settling. Whereas now you're waiting for God's approval, and God is saying, yes, this is what I have for you. And the longer you're waiting for it, when it finally happens, it's bigger than you expected. And guess what? You never settled. And guess what? It's according to God's plan for your life. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.